Friday. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel coming at you. Tennessee in the transfer portal. The news keeps on coming. There's facts, there's rumors out there. Some interesting stuff popped up today. A little late to the party with this one, as such is the case a lot of the week, just timing of when things are announced and stuff. But Ben McKee was on the Sports Monster 99.1 today in Knoxville, and he posted some stuff on 24/7 today. So here's what we kind of know. All right, and here's some stuff that popped up today as well. What we know is this is a big weekend for Tennessee in the transfer portal. Two guys coming into town: Darlene Stone-Dubar from Hofstra, Cade Tyson from Belmont. Some people in comments on these videos had said they felt pretty good, or they felt he was pretty much a lock, talking about Dubar. And I've noticed too that I don't see anything about him having any other visits set up. McKee, he did say that he feels Tennessee's in a really good spot there. So everything's kind of matching up with the comments, with kind of my thoughts, and, guy who's more in the know. Of course, I'm not in the know. I'm picking up from kind of the rest of you, just kind of trying to make ends meet, more or less. But he did say he thought that Tennessee was in a really good spot with Dubar. Said that Tennessee feels they're in good shape with Tyson. But here's the thing with Cade Tyson. He visits North Carolina next weekend. He is from North Carolina. Apparently, his dad is a high school coach in North Carolina, so there's some ties there. If you're Tennessee, you're going to have to go all out and knock it out of the park this weekend. You're going to have to make Cade Tyson really, really think about this one, because I feel like, and, it's been said, North Carolina needs shooting. Cade Tyson may be the best shooter in the portal. Excellent shooter, well over 40% shooting from three-point range. Belmont had, I think it said, 9 games of over 20 points this year. Surprises me he ranks, I think he's ranked 23rd according to 24/7 Sports in the portal. A guy like that should probably rank a bit higher. So I'm kind of interested with that. So he's a guy who could play the 2 or the 3. But, this is much like with Billy Amick when he went into the portal from Clemson in baseball last year. Some of the predictions were that he would go to Florida. That was what D1 baseball Kendall Rogers, who's very good at what he does, he said out of the gates. That was his prediction. Tennessee knocked it out of the park. They did about as good as they could do with that one, and they were able to overcome it. I think they got the first visit out of the portal. Same thing here. And what's, according to McKee, shaping up to possibly be a Tennessee-North Carolina battle. If you're Tennessee, you have to knock this one out of the park this weekend. You leave no doubt where he stands. You get both of those guys in the fold, that's a damn good start for this portal. Now, going on about current roster, a couple things come to light today. So it's pretty interesting that apparently today, not sure when, and I'm sure it's probably already happened at this point. Some of you have commented on other videos about this as well, but apparently the coaches and Tobe Awaka were meeting today. So I said last night, I wouldn't hold my breath on that one, but maybe this leaves the door open that Awaka is that guy. And, some stuff McKee said. I said this after the Purdue game about Jonas Adu. Of course, I was upset with him, but I said, maybe next year with Jonas Adu, you move him into a role where he plays a 4, where he can stretch a little bit. He can step out and shoot. He has a nice shot for the most part. McKee talked about with Adu, thinking maybe that's the kind of offense he wants to play. And with Rick Barnes and the centers, they're playing a little more closer to the basket and stuff. Adu would step out some, don't get me wrong on it. But apparently maybe he's looking at expanding his offense, showing what he could do on that. I think there's times maybe you could have went Awaka at the 5 and Adu at the 4. But I don't know. I've talked about it too. I've read where Tennessee had to work really hard to keep Adu in the fold last year. So it's probably not real surprising. And I don't really think it's that big of a surprise either guy hit it. I think maybe it's more of a surprise that both did. But I don't think I would have been as surprised if one or the other had on it. So hopefully, things will go good. Tennessee can convince Awaka to come back, because they're, it's JP Estrella and Cade Phillips. And I've still, I haven't seen anything the last few days, but I had seen Cade Phillips' name mentioned as a guy who could hit the portal too. So if that's the case, then you've just got JP Estrella coming back. So that's kind of where we're at with the current roster. And McKee talked about it on the Sports Animal. He talked about it on the 24/7 as well on the message board, that And this is kind of what I've thought the whole time, that he expects Jemai Meshack to come back. I would have been shocked on Meshack. Not so much surprised on the other guys. Meshack seems to really love it down there. And I'm still a believer. I've been on this since the get-go with it, since I've been doing this channel, since I've talked about the team, live shows, and all that. I really feel Jemai Meshack could score you 10 to 15 points a game if given the opportunity. It's not been his role. But you make no mistake about it. He'll be a starter next year, and he will be able to show, especially he continues to work on his game offensively. He'll be a guy who can score you 10 to 15 points, maybe occasionally upwards of 20 per game. But I think he's a guy you have to keep in the fold. He and Ziegler are the main two. And then, hopefully Awaka comes back. I hope he does. But if you get Dubar in the fold, that seems to be a good chance this weekend. Kate Tyson would be nice. He'd be really nice. And then, I did see a couple of names pop up again. All this is from McKee. It's not mine. I'm going to give him the credit on it, since I don't know what VolQuest is saying. I don't have the membership on there. And I don't get on to just rip these guys off. I really don't. But at the same time, with it, I can put a lot of my own stuff together. I can't put this concrete information together. That it is what it is. So names out of the portal he mentioned today. So there have been other names mentioned Tennessee could be involved with. Names today they're having conversations with, per McKee, Roddy Gale Jr. from Ohio State. He's a guard, 6'4". Clifford Omarui from Rutgers, a center. So a guy who could come in, possibly be maybe that bruiser type that they're looking for. I'm not sure his game exactly, but seems like a pretty big dude. And then Christian Reeves from Duke as a guy that hit the portal. I looked up some information on him. He's about 7'1", 240. Hasn't done much at Duke. He's battled injuries a lot. He was out of Oak Hill Academy a couple years ago. So, I don't know what their role would be for him to come in, if he's a guy to come in and eat up minutes or what. And again, it could just be preliminary conversations right now. And there's going to be new names come up probably every day on it. The main two you have concrete right now is the two that's visiting this weekend. And then, a little bit of recruiting news for basketball as well as Hoover, Alabama. He's a big guy, Dwayne Brown. He announces on the 20th, so he'll announce next Saturday. It's between UT and Mississippi State. It's apparently a close one, but, Tennessee's got a good shot. That's not to say Mississippi State doesn't win out in the end, but I think Tennessee does have a shot. He visited back. Can't remember what game he was in for a visit. I remember it was an official visit that he was in. So that would be a nice pickup for 2025. And, what's Tennessee's philosophy going forward? As they only signed one incoming freshman, are they going to maybe sign one or two guys and then go portal heavy the rest of the way? No more than they're playing some of these freshmen. Guys, why just spend it on a spot where a guy may get upset and leave? If you're Tennessee basketball right now, with the amount of open spots you have a chance to really makeshift this roster in a big way. I'm excited to see what they do with it. And Awaka, I'm interested to see what comes off on that. Maybe not much, but it is interesting that they are meeting. And, I know, is he replaceable? Yes. Would I like to have him back? Yes. I hope he comes back and stays. But, I'll keep you any news I run across or something along the way. I'll try to keep that updated along the way. Thank you guys for listening. Later tonight, after the Tennessee LSU game, which is getting ready to have first pitch about any time now, I will be live after that game. I hope you'll join me for that little chat on that. Maybe we'll get into a little portal talk, maybe a little preparation for the orange and white game tomorrow. But, if not, and you listen to this, I hope you have a great rest of the evening. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. It is free. But, last but not least, and as always, go Vols.